ID as well.
Why do you need my ID?
Reopening Ontario Act, sir.
Reopening Ontario Act?
Yes, sir.
So are you going to arrest me too?
They're literally gonna arrest him.
Sir, we're literally here minding
Yeah,
our own business.
you can hand over your ID or you can get arrested.
The RCMP has removed one of its officers from the front lines after he was caught on video threatening a man under arrest. The officer working in a First Nations community where people say they've been feeling uneasy about his aggressive behavior of late.
I'm gonna kill you! Hey, hey, hey! Shut the up! You're under arrest for possession of weapons.
So this is happening in Pelican Narrows, Saskatchewan, this video being shared widely throughout the weekend. We don't know a lot about the lead up to this video. We know the officers were there on a weapons call. There was a machete that RCMP confirmed was taken from the scene. And what you could hear there is that one officer swearing and threatening at the man they are placing in handcuffs there. And that's where the criticism comes from, because community members say that at this point, the situation is pretty much under control. The man is on his knees, he's being handcuffed, and there was no need to threaten him like that. So that's where the criticism is coming in. Now, the RCMP say that the officer has been relocated out of the community, also taken off the front line as they continue to investigate.
They swear to God they're arresting this guy.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
That's fine.
You punched me for no reason, man.
Arrest for obstructing a police officer.
Said obstructing a police officer.
Back up.
There's other cop over here. Obstructing a police officer.
Knock it off. Placing you under arrest for obstruct. Put your hands behind your back and don't resist.
I didn't do anything.
Now's not the time to negotiate. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, we're filming. You can go to court.
All right, awesome.
Sir, can you go to court? Chris, can you help us get this guy back?
It's on our car. I didn't do anything.
Anybody? Relax.
They saw it all, man. I'm not under arrest. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Knock it off.
I just please.
Stand behind your back.
What the fuck are these cops doing, bro? 3 cops?
Please try to second. Please, guys.
Hands behind your back.
I
You're
didn't
under
do
arrest.
anything.
You're
For
under arrest
what?
for obstructing a peace
I didn't obstruct you. I was going to Bonte.
I asked for your ID.
didn't
You
like-
told me to go fuck myself.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yo. So the cop asked him for ID and he said him to go fuck himself, which is not illegal.
You can't card people.
Yeah, they're carding him, bro. They're literally carding him.
Knock it off.
They're carding him, bro.
Oh, fuck.
They're carding him.
I want your supervisor right
That's
now.
fine. You'll get my info.
Yeah, I hope he's getting a whole carding card too, right? You're gonna give him all the information?
I didn't, sir, can you listen to me? I didn't do anything.
Okay.
He didn't like that I called him a pig and he punched me in the face.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Bro, he hurt your face, and that's what he's doing.
Oh, this guy just pushed him into the car too.
You can't punch somebody in the face for that, sir. You can't do that.
You're also not supposed to be out right now, eh, bud?
Yo, just chill, just chill.
Let's go.
He's literally punching him.
No, call your supervisor.
Stop resisting.
Call your
This guy's not resisting at all, bro.
He is resisting.
He's not
I didn't do
resisting. You're
anything to you.
fucking
How do you know?
charging him
You hold on to
illegally.
They saw.
I know exactly what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I
Sir,
do.
you can't do this. I didn't do anything. I'll let go. Can you please just listen to me? I will.
Oh shit, now there's other cop, bro.
I will. Can you just listen to me, please?
Look at all these cops here. The cops came here, they fucking punched him in the face because he refused to ID himself. He doesn't have to ID himself by law.
Okay, I will. Can you just listen to me, please?
Yeah, I am listening.
I didn't do anything. He didn't like it.
Why are you out right now?
I was going to Bonte. I told him that.
Oh my God.
Can I?
Start walking.
Can you let me
walk.
explain?
Literally dragging him by the neck.
Walk.
Are you the supervisor, sir?
You're under arrest for obstructing a peace officer.
No, the guy was just talking to me and he hurt their feeling. All he said, yo, you guys are pigs.
I know, he called them pigs.
The man.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let me take your ID, let me take your ID.
Yeah, because he tried to card him. He tried to card him, that's why. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stay, I think 6 feet's good. You're walking into my space though.
You're under arrest for obstruction.
No. We probably talked about 3-4 weeks ago.
Hi there, I'll need your ID as well.
Why do you need my ID?
Reopening Ontario Act, sir.
Reopening Ontario.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to arrest me too?
They're literally gonna arrest him.
Sir, we're literally here minding
You
our
have a choice. You
business.
can hand over your ID or you can get arrested.
So he's saying if you don't ID yourself, he's gonna arrest you.
He said I'm going to get arrested if I don't get my fucking ID.
You don't have to give your ID, bro. It's not the law. They have to ask. They have to give you a reason why they're
I
asking.
didn't even do anything. You guys pushed the guy into my car.
Exactly.
I don't need to say, I don't need to...
Yo, you should get their information and file an insurance claim if they dented anything. This guy's car was just there. He was just a customer, and they're literally assaulting him too. Get this dude. 5 cops over there. 6, one back there. 6 cops. For nothing, bro. Now they're reading him his rights.
You may telephone any lawyer you wish. 1-800-265-0451 is a number that will put you in contact with a free legal aid duty counsel lawyer. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Now he's saying he doesn't understand his rights. Everyone moved over there. Another cop just rolled in. Might be time to go, guys. Another cop over there. The Reopening Ontario Act, guys. This is what that act is. Bullshit. Straight bullshit.
A video is circulating online tonight of a Winnipeg police officer being questioned about not wearing a mask during a traffic stop. And the person behind the camera claims it turned what was just going to be a warning into a pricey ticket.
Mayor Lee, the almost $300 ticket was issued for failing to move into a farther lane when passing an emergency vehicle. But the passengers say the officer was defensive about the mask, and the ticket was issued because they questioned him.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Why are you not wearing your mask and you're yelling?
If you want to do that way, I'll just write a ticket. Is that the way you want to do this?
Tuesday evening, a Winnipeg police officer pulled over the driver of this car. The woman recording the video says when the officer approached the window, he asked how long the driver had his license and lectured him about the rules of the road.
Like, he was yelling, and like my initial concern was he wasn't wearing a mask because me and my boyfriend were both healthcare workers.
The passenger, who didn't want to reveal her name as she's been getting harassed online, says she worried if she caught COVID-19 from the officer, she would bring the virus into the hospital.
See, since it bothers you now, I put one on, but he's getting a ticket. So.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
The officer gave them a $298 ticket for failing to move into a farther lane when passing an emergency vehicle using emergency lamps or equipment. Associate Professor of Criminal Justice at the University of Winnipeg, Bronwyn Dobchuk-Land says police officers are granted the power to act in ways they judge to be appropriate, and sometimes they can act offensively.
Supposed oversight bodies like the IIU being unable to hold officers accountable for much more serious harms for this, then this communicates to officers and creates a context in which they know that they likely won't be held accountable for this type of behavior.
Wednesday, Mayor Bowman spoke about the traffic stop video and says he was disappointed with what he saw.
Is asking a question of anybody who works for the City of Winnipeg about whether or not they're complying with provincial public health orders, I think is a fair question.
In a statement to CTV, the Winnipeg Police Service says Winnipeg police officers are expected to wear face masks during interactions with members of the public unless social distancing is being practiced. The officer has been spoken to by his commanding officer about his conduct, and the matter has been dealt with. The passenger doesn't think police officers should act the way the officer in the video did.
I know the rules, like and he's not exempted just because he's a police officer. As a matter of fact, he's the one that's supposed to be implementing it.
The Winnipeg police say they aren't able to cancel a ticket, and that decision is up to Manitoba prosecutions. The ticket has been flagged, and efforts are being made to contact the driver. The woman plans on filing a complaint with LIRA, the Law Enforcement Review Agency.
All right, thanks for this, Mike.
Each year, Canadians have some 5 million encounters with police. Officers who serve, protect, and in rare cases, the encounter turns deadly. But there has been no national accounting of how it happens or how often until now. CBC News has spent 6 months poring over records of fatal interactions with police from across the country, spanning nearly 20 years. A number of trends emerge, but above all, one thing is clear: the rate is rising.
Bo Baker's friends and family gather to remember him every year and to press for answers about the night he was shot dead by police 3 years ago in Kitchener.
It's not, bad guys that are being killed by police. The vast majority of them are mentally ill. So, yeah, this is where it happens.
She says police already knew about her son's history of mental illness when he threatened a 911 operator that he would hurt himself or someone else.
He was standing here when he was killed.
Police say he had a beer in one hand, a knife in the other when they arrived. Less than 2 minutes later, Baker was on the ground, dying, shot 3 times. CBC News has compiled data showing there have been 460 cases of people who've died in interactions with police from 2000 to the end of last year, either from a police bullet, a beating, or even from cardiac arrest during an incident. Drilling into the data reveals the number has risen in the past few years, and nearly half of those who died, like Baker, showed signs of mental health issues. Add in those who had drugs or alcohol in their system, and it reveals roughly 3/4 of those killed were compromised in some way during their confrontation with police.
Very often they're terrified, they're scared.
Dorothy Cotton is a forensic psychologist. She says it's key to remember that someone in crisis is also likely afraid of what's unfolding.
They're going to respond the way any of us do when we're scared. So part of it is really to make them feel safe, to make them try and get across a message that, you're not there to cause trouble, you're there to calm things down.
The data reveals something else. The person who died was usually armed with an object of some kind, such as a knife. But about 1/4 of the time, they had a gun. And 1/4 of the time, they had no weapon at all. Police on the front lines believe too few resources for people in crisis too often leaves police choosing between their own safety and the person facing them.
You don't have time to, take a time out and pull out a playbook. You need to respond quickly to whatever you're confronted with.
An independent investigation determined Baker's shooting was justified because the officer felt he was in danger. But a coroner's inquest will be held into what happened and what could be learned from it.
And Diana's in our Toronto studio tonight. We know, Diana, that when it comes to fatal interactions with police in the United States, ethnicity often becomes a big issue. So what do the numbers show here in Canada?
Well, the overall data shows that the typical person who died in this way was a white male in his mid-30s. But when you drill down further and look at specific parts of the country, the picture changes. In Toronto, for instance, the proportion of the population that's Black is about 8%, but about 36%, or 1 in 3 people who died in these fatal encounters in Toronto, was Black. In Winnipeg, an even sharper contrast. About 10% of the population there is Indigenous, but 64% of those who died in a confrontation with police were Indigenous. But no matter where you live in this country, knowing now what the numbers are gives people a chance to talk about ways to bring them down, Ian.
After the fatal moments, the flashing lights, and the police tape, come the questions.
Alberta's police watchdog is now investigating.
The review will start soon and take a year to complete.
A panel of jury members will come up with a series of recommendations to try to prevent these kinds of deaths from happening in the future.
We looked at more than a dozen inquiries and reviews from the past few years and found recurring themes: that police needed to address race relations and bias, that officers needed better training and support to recognize and respond to people with addiction and mental health issues, and of course,
De-escalation is really, really important.
De-escalation or defusing of a situation
could have been used to de-escalate the situation.
The need for better training to de-escalate volatile situations and avoid lethal force. But these recommendations came up so often, an increasingly urgent question is how they're actually being implemented.